Hello and welcome to the mid-innings show of India versus Sri Lanka. India 357 for 8 at the end of their 50 overs, and 50s from Shubman Gill, Virat Kohli, Shreyas Iyer, hundreds from none, but effective 50s. Before I go to the usual Shubman Gill and Virat Kohli, how important, Raj, was this innings as far as Shreyas Iyer is concerned?
I think it is I won't say it's a career saving inning, but at least it keep him in the mix for the rest of the World Cup. He's played a very sensible knock, very maturely. Didn't throw his wicket away until the very end. Got that half century, which was important for him and for the side. I think India got to 350 primarily because he played a very good hand to support what Virat Kohli and Shubman Gill had done at the start.
Absolutely. And he has brought in the next question immediately. Uh, have we again started playing with a player's mind with this whole 49th century, Virat Kohli 88, fantastic hits. But the headlines will say he missed this 49th century.
See, I mean, yes, we will all say that. We were all expecting him, we are all expecting him to get that century as soon as he can. But you also must have to understand, I mean, we also must have to understand that that doesn't happen like that. I mean, it's a lot of runs. I mean, so, but what really is going to matter is his contribution to the team score. I mean, 350 plus is a pretty big score, and he played a very significant part in taking India towards that.
Absolutely. Raja, does this play on someone like a Kohli's mind also? Does it add to the pressure?
Not really. I think it's too vastly experienced a cricketer to feel this kind of pressure. But as Korea pointed out in the show earlier today, it does get to the player at some point of time because there's so many conversations happening around 49 and 50 and the record. So it does get to you. You can insulate yourself as much as you want to. But this is the age of the social media. And even if you don't want to talk to you, there are people who are calling you and telling you, get that 49 and get that 50. So it does get to him. But he's too vastly experienced to crumble under that kind of pressure. He played a beautiful knock. But I think it was done in by a very smart piece of bowling, Madhushanka. Normally in a match like this where a team has scored 350 plus runs, you don't talk about the bowler very much, but to take 5 for 80 against a batting lineup like this and to have picked up Rohit Sharma very early, I thought he did pretty well, including getting those slower ones to get those wickets.
Absolutely. And getting to the other batter, 92 of 92, Shubman Gill, he needed this in the World Cup because while Rohit was going all guns, he was getting starts.
He was getting starts and he was not exactly converting it. So this was an important knock for him as well. And it was, I mean, not just, I mean, we all know that he's a good player. So that was never in doubt. But in a competition like this, it's really important to have the confidence going. So this innings will give him a lot of confidence going ahead. And we know what kind of a player he is, what kind of damage he can do up front without making it look violent. And so it was important for India that he got these runs under his belt.
Absolutely. Raja, the first spell, I'll take you back to that. Dushman Chamira from one end and Madhu Shankar from the other end, it was tough. And we had lost Rohit early. So Virat and Gill, that partnership, take us through that partnership.
I think Kushal Pandit should have been very pleased that he asked India to bat first, and his fast bowlers responded brilliantly. Both of them bowled superbly. There were a few deliveries that the Indian batters played, and they fell short of the either the bowler or the wicket keeper. So unfortunate for Sri Lanka. 18 for 3, and we might have been talking a very different scenario completely. But they bowled brilliantly. I think the first 10 overs had to be seen through. It was very attritional phase of cricket. I think India batted eventually like in test matches, even though they gifted plenty of runs on the leg side to Virat Kohli. He could play the flick, could play the glance, and he picked up lots of runs on the leg side. Uh, Barring that, I think they bowled brilliantly in that first spell. Unfortunate for them, they were not able to pick up more than that one wicket of Rohit Sharma. But they bowled really well in that early stages, and it was great to watch a test match being played within a one day.
Absolutely. So in those six matches that we have played, 6 out of 6, and even today, it's not like you haven't been tested. Like the batters have you can say, risen to the occasion. Even today, everyone has done little bits.
Yes, the thing is that, I mean, very rarely do you see a total of 357 without a century six score. So this shows that contributions came from different people, not just one or two. So, and in fact, including Jadeja, that was an important innings towards the end. Small little innings by Rahul also. So those are small contributions which added to make this total a big one. And as Raj was saying, I think in the first initial phase, the ball was the new ball did a bit. So that was a tough period. And Kohli, I mean, yeah, it's only he can make it look so simple. I mean, he does it day in, day out. I mean, put in there and he'll do the job for you. So he knows, I mean, what exactly is to be done in that phase. I mean, he knew that once the first 10, 15 overs are gone, are bowled, batting will become easier. So that's what he did. I mean, that's what experience is all about. He
Absolutely.
knows when to push harder, when to just take it easy a bit.
Also, interesting part is this also kind of shows the intent that Indian batters or the Indian team has. Raja, because if you see Shubman Gill and Kohli strike rates, again, I'm not going to the strike rate debate, but what I'm saying is they were building their innings, the tough period. They have 93, 100 strike rate. But after that, all the batters have been 140, 110, 130, 145. So then the platform is there. And then, they went on.
I think it's a pretty old one-day international template where you keep wickets in hand, bat till 30 overs without losing too many wickets. After that push, make that very aggressive push. You had a Surya Kumar Yadav in the reserve. You have Ravindra Jadeja who could force the pace. He just took, I think, a couple of boundaries, a 4 and a 6, to get his 37, 38 runs. I think the important thing about running between the wickets and running very hard, this whole team knows. And look at it this way. This whole World Cup, you had got Rohit Sharma giving blazing start to the Indian side. That was absent today. But despite that, India got to 357. I think the old template where you back through the first 25, 30 overs without losing too many wickets, and then building that platform on which you could build, on which you could come up with a big score. I think the Indian team has done that. Now the ball is in the court of the fast bowler and of Kuldeep Yadav.
Since he has already, taken me to the next question yet again. Um, Instead of going to the Indian bowlers, I'll take you to the Sri Lankan batters. Does this team look over dependent on a Kushal Mendes?
I wouldn't say that. It's him who provides that impetus. But we have seen others also scoring runs in this World Cup. In fact, in the first half, first period of this World Cup, the bowling was not picking. Their batters were doing the job. The openers, Nissanka has scored runs. Number 4 batsman, Samara Vikram has scored runs. And of course, Kusal Mendes is one of the main players. I think it's a pretty good batting side.
But Raja, as we can see from the graphics, Kushal Mendes had like two halves of the World Cup. First, when Shanaka was the captain and he was scoring, then he became the captain. Now, maybe it's just a I don't know, out and out thing that he became the captain and then his average and run scoring reduced. Is this the captaincy pressure? Or suddenly you feel like, I have to lead from the front. Does that take a toll?
I think it tells us that not everybody is a Mahendra Singh Dhoni, where you can keep wickets, bat well for your team, and then lead as well. Not everybody is like that. Of course, Kushal Mendes, fantastic cricketer for Sri Lanka, has been a great servant of the game for them, and they are blessed to have him. But I think it's feeling the pressure of being the number one batter at this point of time and taking Sri Lanka over the line in game. To be keeping for 50 overs and then to come out and bat with the freedom, I think that is what is challenging.
After Siraj against Sri Lanka in the Asia Cup, the dust setting spell for them. How much of that does play in the players' mind when they come out? Because after that match, this is the match they're facing Siraj.
I think at times these things do play a part because as a batter, you remember the kind of dismissal that the way you got out, you tend to remember. Some of them remember that. So this set of Sri Lankan batsmen, they don't have happy memories against Siraj. So the sight of Siraj will not be a very pleasant one for them. Having said that, they are professional cricketers. They play day in day out, so they shouldn't be too phased by that.
Uh, Taken from their Siraj hasn't had the best of power plays. would he also, for him also, psychologically, probably he kind of, do you think he will feel more charged up because he has just picked up 2 wickets in the power play this World Cup? Do you think that will help him kind of?
I think so. When you look back and you look at the 6 wicket that you picked up in the Asia Cup final, completely decimated Sri Lanka. It does help you to see your familiar opponent, to see the kind of clothes that were present in the Asia Cup final against you. I think Siraj will want to take his mind back. But it's not so easy, Trisha. Sometimes it's your current form, and Siraj hasn't been in the best as far as power play is concerned. He bowled with scramble seam even in his first or second over, and that tells you of a slight dip in confidence. The need to experiment with scramble seam so early in the opposition's inning, I think it tells you where he is in terms of an emotional state. I would rather see him bowl just like Shami would with the new ball. Uh, Go back to being the Siraj rather than try to experiment with the ball with scramble seam. I think he will then be among the wickets one more time.
Uh, how much of a factor will the view be, and do you think that also kind of push them in the toss, push Sri Lanka in the toss to take batting first? Sorry, bowling first.
Possible. I mean, we have seen that when you get due, the ball it's difficult for the bowling side. Becomes difficult for the bowling side. So that is probably that might have played in their mind, and that might have influenced their decision to bowl first. And if there is due, it is going to be a factor. But in this World Cup so far, I don't think due has been that great a factor. There has been due, but we haven't seen really. I mean, matches determined because of that.
Absolutely. Rather, we have seen a few occasions the ball stopping and coming for the batters. How difficult will it be for Sri Lanka to play someone like a Kuldeep Yadav and even slower ones of Bumrah and slower ones?
And the scramble seam of Siraj,
Yes.
right? So we saw the Sri Lankans use the off cutters a lot. So India, if it has seen what Sri Lanka has done to pick up wicket, I think they can easily do that. So it's going to be a challenge. But if the wicket is flattening out a little bit thanks to the dew, then the bowlers will have to come up with an alternate strategy. Kuldeep on any track with any kind of ball, whether it is red or dry, I think he can be a handful, especially in the Wankhede Stadium wicket. I think he's a match winner. He knows it. And I think between Bumrah and he will pick wicket. Of course, Umar Shami has got 9 wickets in the last 2 innings for India. So it's a complete bowling attack that we are talking about. And we can't rule out Jadeja being among the wickets as well. So this is a good attack. I think India should canter home to a comfortable.
Absolutely. Achro, last question, obviously, the most important one. Will India win?
This match.
Yes.
Well,
How about the World Cup? We'll talk about that later.
No, but the answer is here as well.
when a team scores 3 plus, they are the go to the second when the second inning starts. The team batting first are obviously the favorites. But in this World Cup, we have seen some good batting performance batting second. I mean, Pakistan chased 340 plus against Sri Lanka. New Zealand went very close to Australia's very big total the other day. So we have seen teams batting well in the second half this World Cup. But having said that, I think India are definitely the favorites at the moment.
Any change in your answer?
No, not yet. When you've got 357, the scoreboard pressure is going to be very telling on Sri Lanka. And they haven't had the best of World Cup. They have been a middling team. They could have been a dangerous floater, but not tonight. I don't see them challenging the Indian bowlers. The Indian bowlers have got their tails up. I think they will wrap up the game pretty quickly tonight so that we can all go home and have a wonderful rest.
Well, perfectly fine, but I'm not going to let them go because let's make the prediction interesting. With a 350 total, you generally expect that they were anyway going to say that India are the favorites, India are going to win. Which bowler is going to take how many wickets?
That's a dangerous game to play, Krisha. But I guess India should draw home in about 40 overs. Uh, they will give us that 10 overs cushion for us to go home early and 35 have a good lead.
Then
Swiggy does this wonderful thing for us. So it allows us to go in early.
Well, I think I'll look out for Bumrah. I'll look out for Bumrah because he has been India's number one bowler in this competition. And I also think at some stage of this competition, Siraj will be back to what we know. So you never know. Today could be his day.
And Raja, we have got a question for you. Snehashish Mukherjee asks, okay, I don't understand. Yeah, why this Mirchi? So anyway, who will be the Mirchi among Indian bowlers? We have said that.
I come from Hyderabad, right? Where the
Siraj,
food is very
Siraj.
spicy, spicier than we get in Kolkata, right?
Yeah.
So natural tendency is to look for mirchi ka salan. So therefore,
Okay,
question
got
of
it,
mirchi.
got it.
But pick my record, tonight going to be Siraj.
Siraj. So we have got Jasprit Bumrah, we have got Mohammad Siraj. I'm going for Mohammad Shami. So, but India is going all for Sri Lanka. Will India win? Will they make it 7 out of 7? We have to see, and you also have to join us for the post show. Keep watching. But before we leave, because obviously it's India versus Sri Lanka and it's Wankhede, you can remember one Sri Lankan cricketer who almost spoiled our party in 2011, Mahela Jayawardena. But this time he's not talking about 2011. He's talking about the one and only Virat Kohli. Leaving you with Virat Kohli thoughts. Thank you so much. Join us for the post show.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a massive player for India win this World Cup and probably the most experienced apart from Rohit. I think Virat is the only one who's been in that team from 2011, if I'm not mistaken. So, he's gone through that cycle and you would have seen what Sachin had to go through during that period and he would have learned from that. And I think he'll be just like Rohit. I think they're very mature cricketers and they will take it in the right spirit and play and enjoy. I mean, the whole point of World Cups and these big tournaments are that you need to enjoy the tournaments. I mean, if you don't enjoy it, it becomes a bit of a burden. It doesn't matter your performance as long as you're